whenever you're ready, Sarah. All right, so happy Wednesday. I almost said good morning. Not morning, but happy whatever time of day it is. Happy Wednesday. Happy last night of Navaratri. Tonight is the last formal night of the 9 nights dedicated to the goddess. So still in Saraswati energy. Tomorrow actually becomes, right, we don't always think about this, but the 10th day, right, so there's 9 nights to the goddess, but the 10th day is meant to be this victory celebration of where all the demons have been slain, all the darkness is removed from the world, and we are back to, you know, ourselves. We're back to us as we were always intended to be. That's the idea, is you come back to your soul. So it's a celebration often said to be to Ram. So Ram's celebration day, right? The day that he gets to come home from exile. But it's this culmination, right, of transformation. It's the culmination of when you have looked in every corner, right? I started out these 9 nights saying that if you do nothing else during Navaratri, what we're asked to do is clean your house. Clean your heart, clean your mind, clean your body, right? That's what we're asked to do, is to start to look at all the things we have accumulated and we've shoved into the corners that we don't know what it is or why we have it or why it's necessary anymore, but to look at it and to either keep it because it's useful or drop it because it's not, right? And that's what it means to come back to who you've always meant to be, is that everything that you've accumulated around yourself because of your life, you either keep it because it's true, because it's you, or you drop it because it's not. And this is Saraswati, is being able to see so clearly what is true and what isn't, right? What is a projection that you are putting out into the world, or what is being reflected back to you from the world. This is who I am, right? Or this is who I could be, because sometimes it doesn't feel like it's who we are yet, but it's who we could be, right? So that victory celebration is when you are able to see clearly or have that inner knowing that this is who I am. And I'm going to continue to only accumulate those things that fit with this is who I am. That's what I'm going to carry. Everything else, I drop it. I keep my heart clean. I keep my mind clean, right? I don't go back into that state of distortion that we call the darkness, or that we call the, you know, the battles with the demons. So that's what we're practicing, right? Is that discernment. This is Saraswati, is the ability to see and know the truth without question. So let the eyes close for a moment. And if you haven't been cleaning anything for the last 9 nights or the last 9 years, 90 years, that it doesn't end with Navaratri, right? The opportunity does not end. That you have the opportunity to do this cleansing or this cleaning or this coming back to yourself day after day, moment by moment. We're asked to do it all the time, over and over. And the thing is that the world keeps giving us these big events, keeps giving us big things to react to. And if we let ourselves, is that every reaction pulls us away from who we are. So it's a constant practice. As you're breathing, breathe in through the right nostril in your mind and breathe out through the left. Just breathing in through the right and out through the left. So a cycle in one direction, in through the right, out through the left, following with your mind. And then switch it, please. Begin to inhale through your left nostril and out through the right. And follow that cycle, inhaling through the left nostril and out through the right. We say Saraswati because she rides on the swan. The swan's ability, they say, is that the swan can drink a mixture of water and milk and only drink the milk and leave the water. That's discernment, is being able to take everything, right, left, up, down, right, wrong, good, bad, and to only pull from that the truth. And that it's this intermixing of those opposites that creates truth. It's not one versus the other. So now release that conscious cycling of the breath and just come back to breathing through both nostrils. So at any given moment, you have the ability to switch the way that your breath is moving, which switches the way that your mind is seeing things, which switches the way that you are interpreting the world, and brings you back to maybe what is true without you logicking it out. It's just you feeling it. One more deep breath in all the way to the top of your head. Pause. And exhale everything out, dropping whatever mental story you have about today or yesterday or tomorrow. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands, please. Come forward to hands and knees. And begin to cat and cow, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, moving your spine with your breath. Good. Finding the rhythm of your breath, whether it's fast or it's slow. Good. And then consciously move yourself a little faster. So you're still inhaling and exhaling, but you're letting the spine flex and flex and flex and flex. Good. A little faster. Stay rooted in your hands and in your shins. Good. Don't fling the head forward and back. Move from the chest. Move from the pelvis. Good. It might mean that your movements become a little smaller because you're moving faster, but still move yourself a little faster. Good. And then slow it back down. Slow it back down. So there's that feeling of pulling the armpits and the hips away from each other with every breath. You're lengthening. And even as you exhale, you're still pulling the hips and the armpits away from each other. Good. And you're still breathing. If you've lost the inhale and the exhale, come back to that. Nice. Come back to neutral spine, please. Right arm comes out wide to the right. Slide that arm behind your left wrist. Right shoulder finds the floor. Turn your gaze. Walk the left arm forward over the top of the head. Good. Pressing into the shins, trying to keep the hips in line with your knees. So don't let your hips fall back to your heels, but also don't let them fall forward of your knees. Nice. If you have to adjust the shoulders, adjust the shoulders. Good. And then the option here is to take your left leg straight back behind you, toes tucked on the floor. So extend that leg out. Good. And again, press out through that heel. So again, it's like you're tugging the top of the thigh back away from your armpit. Nice. One more breath. Open the chest. That's it. Nice, Sarah. And then slowly release. Bring the knee back to the floor. Come all the way back up to hands and knees. Move yourself to the other side. Take the left arm out and wide. Slide the arm behind your right wrist. Left shoulder finds the floor. Turn your gaze. Walk the right arm forward to straight. And press down into the shins. Good. Again, the option is to stretch the right leg back behind you, toes tucked on the floor. And again, as those toes come to the floor, you're pressing back through that heel. So you want the stretch in the calf. You want to press back through that hip. Good. So again, you're getting the full length on the side body. Nice, you guys. Try and keep your right hip spinning down towards the floor, though, as you press out through that heel. There you go. Good. And then go ahead and release, taking the right knee back down underneath the hip, coming back up to hands and knees. Beautiful. Stretch your right leg back behind you, straight back behind you. Lift that leg in line with your hip. Walk the left arm forward, take the balance. Good, a deep breath in. As you exhale, bring the elbow and knee together underneath you, round your back, squeeze in. Good, and then inhale, extend all the way out. Again, moving with the breath, kicking that thigh higher. Yes, and then squeeze in again, exhaling, pulling in and rounding. Good, and then inhale, extend all the way out. Nice, and then exhale, squeeze in, curl. Good, inhale all the way out, pause and hold there. Bend the right knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Reach back for the foot or the ankle if you'd like, or take that left hand behind your head if reaching the ankle's not happening today. Good, kick your thigh a little higher, pull your heart a little higher. Find your breath. Yeah, nice, you guys. Good, and then release, please, extending the leg back behind you. Keep the leg lifted, but bring that left hand back down to the floor. And then step your right foot over your left ankle to the bottom left-hand corner of your mat. Look over your left shoulder. Good. And again, not letting the right hip drop lower than the left. Press out through that right heel. That's it. Nice. And then come back to center, please. Taking both knees wide, big toes together to touch. Drop back to your heels, child's pose. Bend the elbows wide. Make a little pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead on your hands and breathe. A little bit of pressure at the third eye. The Saraswati has everything to do with our mind. And in yoga, we say it's through the mind that we project, we create the world as it is. And it's really that we create the meaning that we see in the world through our mind. So things are just happening, right? Things are as they are. But in our mind, they mean specific things to us. And that meaning is not always shared universally. So what's true in our minds is not always true for everyone. The same understanding is not completely shared. So when we say there's this level of discernment that comes with Saraswati, it's being able to see where something is universally true, or where something is a projection, or it's part of how your mind is working through the world. And sometimes what we see is we see our own mind mirrored back at us from the world, and it scares us. We think, oh, that can't possibly be me, and we resist. Then we do all sorts of crazy things to try and prove that that's not what's going on in our mind, instead of just letting it be what it is. Right? Discernment. Walk yourself back up to hands and knees. Take your left leg back behind you, straight up in line with that hip. Good. Walk the right arm forward, take the balance. For years, I didn't have a name for this pose, and then I discovered that everyone else in the world calls it bird dog. Like you're a dog finding a bird. That's what it's called. You're hunting a bird. Good. Exhale, bring the elbow and knee together underneath you, round your back, squeeze in. Then inhale, extend all the way out. Good. And exhale, squeeze all the way in, elbow to knee, staying in that shaky place of having to balance. Inhale, extend all the way out. And exhaling, curling in. Good. And one more time. Inhale, extend all the way out. Pause. Good. Bend the left knee, kick your heel in, keep the thigh lifted, reach back for the foot or the ankle, or take that right hand behind your head if you're not reaching for the ankle today. Good. Kick your thigh a little higher. Try and bring that right shoulder to turn forward. Good. Rib cage in. Nice. You got it. Beautiful, Sarah. Nice, Emily. Good, Joanne. Good, Harriet. Awesome, you guys. Extend all the way back out. Again, pause, keep that leg lifted, drop the right hand to the floor, and then take your left heel to the outside of your right ankle to the bottom right-hand corner of your mat. Tuck the toes to the floor, and then look over your right shoulder towards that heel. Good. Keep your right hip on top of your right knee. So still move your hips back in space. That's it. Yep. So that's going to soften the top of that thigh. It's going to give you a little bit more space through the outer side body. Good. And then come back to center, please. Knees wide, big toes together to touch. Hips back to your heels. Child's pose, bending the elbows wide, stacking the palms, resting the forehead there. Good. Find it very interesting watching the world after a very exciting court case yesterday. And very interesting to see the reactions that mixed in with the elation and the excitement and the happiness is those subtle messages of people saying, yeah, I hope he suffers. What? As long as we live in a world where our mind projects that there are those that deserve to suffer, because we will see more suffering. Challenging place to be the yogi that says, oh, is this a projection of my mind? The anger that I saw this other person act out in the world also lives in me. Shit. And only I can do something about it. Walk yourself back up onto hands and knees, downward facing dog. So this is Saraswati, right? Is to see the projection of your own mind in the world, to pay attention to it. Right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. So to be excited for what you're excited for, and also watch your own mind. Bring that knee forward towards your nose, round your back, armpits over your wrist, squeeze in. Good. And then send that leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Nice. And one more time, bring it forward, knee towards your nose, round. Good. And then take it back and up behind you, down dog split. Stay there. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Good. Press that heel straight up towards the ceiling. So knee is pointing down, straight down. Press up through that thigh. Hug those arm bones up and in. Lift your chest forward and up. Lift the back of your throat. Good. One more breath. Breathing wide through the back of your heart, through the front of your heart. Yeah. And then release the head, please. Step that right foot between the hands, lunge. And then drop that back knee. Use a blanket there if you'd like. And then inhale both arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. And I have to admit that the thought crossed my mind too, is that part of me really hopes that everyone who has caused pain experiences the same pain themselves so that they understand. And then I think, and I'm like, oh, so all the pain in my life, where did that come from? Is it because I've caused pain somewhere too? Deep breath in, heart to the sky. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Both hands inside the front foot. Nice. Start to circle that right hip. You can lift the back knee off the floor if you'd like, or keep the knee on the floor. Your choice. So we call it discernment when we're able to catch ourselves in the act of our own story. We're able to see that our participation in the world is we want what's really good for everybody. And at the same time, are we participating in what we don't want? And can you catch yourself in the act and say, here's the place where I can disengage from that. Come back to stillness, please. Good. Lift that back knee if it's not already, and then step that left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight, Parsvottanasana. Use blocks underneath the hands if you'd like. Good. The mind, they say, is like such a tricky place because it's like a mirror. So it's either reflecting what is really the soul of you, or it's reflecting all of those random thoughts that maybe you have shared with a lot of people, or maybe is just the world that keeps talking at you. But if you keep projecting it, then it keeps bouncing off of all of our minds and it becomes amplified. So I like that we talk about that a lot now in our language, is what are you amplifying in the world? This is Saraswati, right? Is to have this high ideal of what you participate in and what you amplify, what you make real. Because that's the mind's abilities. It makes meaning. Take one more breath, really squeezing the feet together. Good. And then bend your right knee, walk your hands forward, step up, standing split. Left thigh comes parallel to the floor. Good. Then plant that left hand, take your right hand up to your low back. You can keep that left hand on a block if you need. Start to turn your belly open to the right, like a revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Kick that left heel higher. Yeah. Nice. And then just bend the knee, kick the heel in towards your butt. Don't reach for the foot, just bend the knee in and see how much higher you can lift that thigh. That's it. Nice. And then extend the leg back out, release the hand to the floor. Beautiful. Step back to a lunge, please. Downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down slow to your belly, coming through knees first if you need. Point the toes back behind you. Stretch your arms reaching back. Interlace your fingers at the low spine. Good. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and then hug those upper arms towards each other. So again, you're squeezing that space behind the heart. And you're drawing your shoulder blades towards each other. Good. Keep the feet on the ground. Lift head, neck, and chest, stretching those hands back towards your heels any amount. Good. But keep that hug of the upper arms. So instead of the lock of the elbows, you have the hug of the arms. Good. And then draw your low rib cage in. Lift the back of your heart higher. Nice. Nice, Harriet. And then slowly release, please. Beautiful. Plant the hands. Come back, downward facing dog. Good. Left leg comes up and back behind you. Down dog split. Good. Bring the knee forward towards your nose. Armpits over your wrists. Squeeze and round. Round, round, round. Pull those hips up. Good. And then take that leg up and back behind you. Down dog split. Good. Bring the knee forward again. Squeeze it in. One more time. Round, round, round. Good. And then take the leg up and back behind you. Down dog split. Keep it lifted. Bend the knee. Kick your heel in. Knee points down at the floor. Press that heel straight up towards the ceiling, but keep that knee pointing down. Good. And then drag back on your hands like you're trying to pull your chest up away from the floor. And then start to lift your sternum forward into that back bend. Keep your low rib cage softening in. Keep the top of your right thigh, supporting thigh, pulling back. Good. Flex that foot a lot, Lauren. There you go. Press up through that heel. Nice. Front of your heart, back of your heart. What's real for you right now? Good. Release the head, please. Step that left foot between the hands, lunge. Good. Drop the back knee. Use a blanket there if you'd like. Inhale, both arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. Pressing through that front heel. So important, right? That you're not just resting that foot there, but you're really pressing into the heel so that that whole left leg is really active. Good. Heart to the sky, lean back. Nice. Let the pelvis move forward, but draw your low ribs in, low belly in. Nice, Nancy. Nice, Anastasia. Come all the way back up. Nice, Joanne. Release the hands down to the floor. Both hands inside the front foot. Good. Start to circle that left hip. Again, you can lift the back knee up off the floor if you'd like, or keep it down. Good. So our favorite part of Saraswati is they say that because she's our inspiration, she's our intuition, she is everything that is beneath the surface. So the ethereal energy, the ethericness of ourselves, of our spirit, connection to other worlds and other states of consciousness. We're all for that, music and poetry and everything. She says, but none of that is what you live in if you still have these shadows that are bouncing around in your mind. Come back to stillness, please. Lift that back knee up if it's not already, and then step the right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight, Parsvottanasana. And she says you have to watch everything that runs through your mind, because what runs through your mind habitually, even if it's in the background, you hardly notice, because you are making that real in some way in your life. That's the projection. It becomes the world. So it doesn't mean you get upset at every thought that comes through your mind, but you look at it, and if it's not one that you wish to amplify, that you wish to be real, then maybe you add something to it or change it so that it reflects more of what you believe to be true. And it includes all of those things of, do I want anyone in this world to suffer? It's a tough one. Do I want there to be pain? Do I want that pain to be recognized or unrecognized? And how do I contribute to the healing of that pain, no matter how it came about? So cleaning the mirror of your mind means digging into all of those dark corners and where your own anger lives, your own judgment lives, your own nonsense lives. That's how I usually refer to it. Nonsense of your mind. And I was saying earlier this week that the concept of cleaning is that with your mind, it's like you open a closet door, and instead of shoving it back closed because you don't like what you see in there, is you leave it open, dance with your skeletons. One more breath. Again, feeling the breath move through you. Not limited to this moment, but moving through you. And then bend the left knee, walk your hands forward, step up to standing split. Good. Again, blocks underneath the hands, totally fine here. Keep the right hand on the floor. Bring your left hand up to your left hip or your low back. Start to twist open to the left. So in a revolved Ardha Chandrasana, kicking that right thigh higher. Good. And then go ahead and bend your right knee, kick your heel in, press up through that heel. So the thigh goes higher. And maybe it can go higher because the knee is bent. Press your sacrum up into your hand. Rotate your ribs. You got it, Lisa. Pull those hips back. Good. And then straighten that leg again. Release the left hand down to the floor. Step back, nice long lunge. And then come back to downward facing dog. Good. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push-up. Good. Lower down slow to your belly. Again, taking the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers at the low spine, pressing your feet down into the floor, drop your forehead neutral to the floor, pull those elbows up and towards each other so the upper arms hug towards the middle of the back. Good. And then start to lift head, neck, and chest, stretch the arms reaching towards your heels. Good. So as your arms stretch back, your sternum is pulling forward. Low ribs move away from the floor. That's it. Press into your legs, engage your low belly. Nice. And then release. Good job, you guys. Plant the hands, press back to downward facing dog. Be funny if we started developing like, in the Army, they have all those different words for all of the letters. So the alpha, this, that, the other thing. If we did that for yoga, instead of down dog, we just said DD. Expected you to all know what it meant. I know, only I think it's funny. Deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. Good. Right leg comes up and back, down dog split. Beautiful. Step that foot forward between the hands, lunge. Inhale the arms up to the sky. High lunge, please. Good. And then take your torso forward, parallel to the floor. Stretch your arms reaching back. Interlace your fingers at the low spine. Shoulders shrug up towards your ears, hug those upper arms, and then come into warrior three with your arms bound. So step up to warrior three, left thigh parallels the floor. Good. Nice. Left toes turn down towards the floor so your hips are level, and then bend your left knee, kick your heel in. Guess what? Press your heel up towards the ceiling, lift your thigh, and then lift your heart. Lift your hands a little higher as though you're gonna hook your hands around your foot. Good, a really bizarre version of dancer. Chest up. Nice. Good. And then slowly release the hands, release back to high lunge, inhale. And then take the hands to the floor gracefully. Good job. Yeah, if you're already hands on the floor, stay there. Don't come back up. Left hand plants, right arm to the sky, spinal twist. Good. Nice, you guys. Release that hand, please. Step yourself back, downward facing dog. Good. And then left leg comes up and back, down dog split. Step the foot forward between the hands, lunge straight to the other side. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good, so find the high lunge and then bring the hands back behind you, interlace your fingers, shoulders shrug up towards your ears, and then lean forward, torso parallels the floor. Keep your chest though from collapsing, keep it lifted, and then send yourself into warrior three. Step up, left hip stacks on left heel, right thigh parallels the floor, toes pointing down. Good. And then again, you've got to really lift from the low part of your pelvis. Bend that right knee, kick your heel in, press up through that thigh, through that heel, and then lift your heart a little higher. So you actually come more towards vertical, like you're going to hook your hands around your foot. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Beautiful, Emily. Nice, Lauren. Nice, Sarah. You got it, Anastasia. Good, Harriet. Good, everybody. Good. Slowly release, please. Stepping all the way back to high lunge. Release the arms. Good. Hands to the floor, please. Right hand plants left arm to the sky, spinal twist. Good. Breathing your heart open. Breathing your mind open. Again, wherever it just went. Breathe it open. Good. And then release that hand down to the floor, please. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down to your belly slow. Rise up cobra, hands here or wider if you'd like. Lift head, neck, and chest. Good. And then release back to your belly, please, and come into Sphinx pose. So come up on your forearms. Good. Pressing down through the palms. Make sure your palms are facing down. And you're pressing down through the length of your forearms and dragging the chest forward. So you're not just collapsing into your arms, but your arms are helping lift the chest. And you're working that rotation of the shoulder girdle. So your shoulder blades on your back are trying to actually rotate the bottom tips down and in. So as the bottom tips come down, your chest lifts up. Good. You can just imagine that happening if you think that it's not physically happening. Beautiful. And then turn your right forearm parallel to the top of your mat. Please bend your left knee. Kick your heel in towards your butt. Reach back left hand for the foot or the ankle. Quad stretch. Try to keep your pelvis, though, your pelvic bones facing forward, shoulders facing forward. But keep pressing into your right forearm. Don't collapse your chest down to the floor. Stay lifted. Again, almost like you're doing dancer pose, but on your belly. So maybe even giving a little bend to your left elbow. Good. Yeah. Keep pressing the thigh down into the floor. So almost like you're trying to take your butt up to your heels. You soften the front of the groin, front of the hip flexor. Well, confession, this is one of my least favorite positions. That's why you're doing it. Slowly release and switch, please. Good. Come back to Sphinx pose and then set yourself up well for the second side. Don't just, run from whatever just happened, but set yourself up well. Left forearm parallels the front of your mat. Bend your right knee, reach back for the foot or the ankle. Same hand, right foot. And again, pelvic points facing straight ahead. Shoulders facing straight ahead as much as possible. Drawing that heel in towards the sit bone. Nice. And again, you're watching the reactions of your mind. I jokingly say it's a confession that this is one of my least favorite positions because not many muscles in my body make themselves really, really apparent when they're tight, but my quads do. They make it really, really clear. And so the frustration that happens in quad stretching in my mind is ridiculous. Maybe it's happening to you too. It's exactly those moments of frustration that, again, we don't want to run from them. We want to watch what we project out from that moment. How we can get softer even though the frustration is there. And how we can wish that everyone else who is frustrated right at this moment because of their quads or anything else finds that same softening. One more breath. Good. And then slowly release, please. Nice job. Good. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders so you can drop the chest to the floor first. Walk your hands back. And then rise up cobra one more time. Lift head, neck, and chest. So the legs are nice and long behind you. Good. Awesome, you guys. And then slowly release, please. Press back downward facing dog. Good. Bring your feet together, please. Big toes, inner heels to touch. Slide forward into plank pose. Vasisthasana, right arm holds you. Roll onto the baby toe edge of your right foot. Left arm comes to the sky. Good. Chest open. Good. Bend your top knee. Kick your heel towards your butt. Don't step it back behind you. Reach back for the foot or the ankle. See if you like quad stretching better this way. You're like, I do not. Good. One more deep breath. Nice. And then let it go back to side plank, deep breath. Good. And then back to full plank. Good job. Downward facing dog. Whatever you just did. Good job. And then try the other side. Bring the feet together. Come forward. Armpits over your wrist. Left arm holds you. Left foot holds you. Stack the right hip. Right foot. Right arm to the sky. And you're bending that top knee. Heel towards your butt. Reach back for the foot of the ankle. In theory, your knees are still going to be in line with each other. Say in theory, right? Because you might have something else going on. Good. You got to keep those hips lifted. Heart open. Yep. Beautiful. And then release. Step it back to side plank. Arm to the sky. Back to full plank. Hands to the floor. Drop to your knees. Child's pose. Say a prayer to whoever you pray to. You don't have to do that again. Just kidding. Pray to whoever you pray to, whatever you pray to, that all of our frustrations, all of our trying, all of our shadows find their way into the light, into the place where they are understood, where all reasons for suffering disappear. Right? Call that the yogi's prayer. Not just for me, but for all beings. This is Saraswati, right? Elevate your mind to that point where you are only working with universal truth. Not just true for me, but true for all beings. Not just true in this moment, but true in all moments. And if something doesn't fit those characteristics, then maybe I drop it. Or maybe I at least seek something that is a little bit more universal. Let myself be inspired. Shine my mind and my heart a little more. One more deep breath. Good. Then walk yourself back up to hands and knees, please. Press back, downward facing dog. Good. Right foot steps forward between the hands, lunge. Step your left foot in just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Good. And walking your hands back behind your front heel. So walk yourself in close to that front shin. So you're walking your hands back behind your heel. You can still have blocks underneath your hands. Just move those blocks back behind your front heel. So you're getting as close in as you can. So Anastasia, I would still have your hands framing your front foot. I think that's just easier. There you go. Yeah, but walk the hands back. You got it. So you might have to curl into your belly a little bit more. That's it. And then keep your hands there, right? Look slightly forward, lean onto that right foot, and then take your left leg up to the sky, standing split, but keep your hands back behind your heel. Fingers can be pointed either direction. Yeah, the idea is that by staying close in towards that standing leg is you really have to work with the balance of your pelvis. Good. Nicely done, you guys. And then go ahead and step that left foot back to the floor. Walk your hands forward, please. Bend that right knee again. Hands walk straight ahead, step up, standing split again. Different placement of the hands, right? Different experience. Good. Left hand stays where it is. Right arm comes to the sky. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Optional here. Bend your left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, reach back for the foot or the ankle. Again, you can always bend the knee and take your hand to your lower back and just work the twist. Good. Nice, Lauren. Just lift that right shoulder a little higher. That's it. Good. Nice, Lisa. Good, Anastasia. Nice, Nancy. And then go ahead and extend everything all the way back. Beautiful. Release the right hand. Step yourself all the way back to a nice long lunge. Drop that left knee down to the floor. Use a blanket if you'd like. You are coming into optional quad stretch. So if you want that blanket underneath the knee, make sure you have it. And then inhale the arms up to the sky. Anjaneyasana. And again, the option here is maybe you bring the right hand down to that front thigh, bend your left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, reach back left hand for the foot or the ankle. And then right arm can either come back up to the sky, behind your head. You can reach both hands back for the ankle if you're feeling like that's your thing today. Good, chest up. Beautiful, dig that back knee down and forward. So it's like you're pulling the thigh bone up and in and like you're trying to bring your butt back towards your heel. Nice. Good. And then slowly release the foot, please. Release the arms. Beautiful. Lift that back knee. Yep. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Vinyasa if you'd like. Child's pose if you prefer. If you're doing the vinyasa, you can pull a Cheryl and throw in a Vasisthasana if you want to. Good. So cute. It's totally okay. None of you want to. Downward facing dog. When you're ready, please, if you're in child's pose, come back to down dog. And then step the left foot between the hands, lunge. Right foot steps forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight, Parsvottanasana. Good. Walking the hands back behind the heel. So again, getting close and towards that front shin. Fingers can be pointing forward or back, your choice. Blocks can be under the hands still. You're just moving your hands back. So you're changing your relationship to your balance point, your center of gravity. Good. And we do poses over and over again so that we can, again, discern what is a momentary experience in our body and what is an ongoing pattern. And same thing in your mind. What's a momentary reaction that's there and then it's gone? And what are your ongoing patterns, the things that you say and do over and over again, that you project over and over again? They get amplified every time. Good. So keeping your hands where they are, look slightly forward, lean onto that left foot, even bend the left knee if you'd like, and then take your right leg up parallel to the floor, standing split. Keep your hands back behind your heels if you can. Good. Stay as close in towards that standing leg as you can. Nice. Good. One more breath. Kick that thigh higher. You got it. And then step that foot back behind you, back to Parsvottanasana. Good. Walk your hands forward. Bend your left knee again. Walk the hands even further forward so that when you step up into standing split, you have full length on your torso. So step back up, standing split, right thigh parallels the floor. Good. And then right hand stays on the floor underneath your shoulder. So Emily, move your hand forward more. 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 There you go. Left arm to the sky. Good. Nice, Nancy. Good, Harriet. Good, Joanne. Good, Sarah. Awesome, you guys. Optional, bend that right knee, kick your heel and reach back for the foot or the ankle. So you got to kick that thigh higher. You got it, Lisa. Yeah. Wow. Shoulder open. Nice. And then slowly release, extend all the way back out. Take that left hand back down to the floor. Step back, nice long lunge, and then drop that right knee. Again, using a cushion if you'd like, because you're going to have the option for the quad stretch. So if you want the cushion for that knee, have it. And then right knee down to the floor, Anjaneyasana, arms to the sky. I know you're going to survive it, Nancy, I promise. Left hand can come to your left thigh for support, and then bend that right knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, move your pelvis forward. Again, if you're on top of that back knee when you try to come into a quad stretch, it's not going to feel good and it's not going to work. Your pelvis has to be forward of that knee. And then reach back, same hand for the foot, right hand for right foot. Left arm can come to the sky behind the head. Reach back, both hands for the ankle if you'd like. Yeah, and then press down through that right thigh, drag forward. Like you're pulling the thigh bone up and in, and like you're trying to take your butt back to your heel. So you come out of that just straight forward clench. Awesome. One more breath, heart to the sky. Nice, Nancy. And then slowly release the foot to the floor, release the hands to the floor. Good, lift that back knee. Downward facing dog. Good, look forward between the hands, step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. Good. Bringing the feet together, big toes and inner heels to touch. You can have blocks underneath the hands here if you need. Come up on your tippy toes. And then bend your knees out wide like a little frog squat. Drop your hips down to your heels, knees wide. Again, if you can't come that low, then you're working in chair pose instead. And then hands stay on the floor, straighten the legs again, still up on your tippy toes. Take your hips to the sky. Zip the legs up, squeeze. Good. And then bend your knees wide again, dropping the hips, lifting the chest. Good. And then straightening the legs, pushing the hips to the sky, squeeze the legs together. Good. 3 more like that. Bend the knees out wide, dropping the hips, lifting your chest. Good. And then straightening the legs, taking your butt to the sky, squeeze. Beautiful. Again, dropping the knees wide, hips down. So you're never really dropping, but you're squatting. And then taking the hips back up towards the sky, squeezing the legs. If you do drop yourself, your knees might not appreciate it. One more. Bend the knees wide. Let the hips lower towards your heels, chest up. And then straighten the legs. Good. Zipping the legs together. Heels to the floor, please. Good. Bend the knees. So you can keep the feet together for this variation of chair or separate them if you know having your feet together in chair does not work for you. So bend your knees. Take the arms up alongside your ears. Chair pose. Drop the hips. Hands at heart center, please. Prayer twist. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. So you're twisting to the left first. Good. So it's just an interesting thing, right? To see what it's like to actually squeeze the legs together in a prayer twist. Good. And then come back to center, please. Don't change the legs. Twist to the other side. Left elbow to right knee. Good. And then again, sometimes we just know that our pelvis, our hips are not going to like that position. So we separate the feet. We don't complain. Don't argue. Good. Come back to center, arms up alongside your ears, chair, take your butt back and low, thighs back and low. Low, 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 low. Keep going. Good. Nice. And then release the hands to the floor, straighten the legs and bow. Good, you guys. Separate the feet, please. As wide as your mat, why not? But feet facing straight ahead. And then come up on your tippy toes again. Option for crow pose here. So taking the hands to the floor. Good. So actually start it this way. Come into full squat, just so that we're all starting from the same place. You can turn the feet out, come into full squat. Good. Dropping the hips. Elbows to the inside of the knees. Good. Place your hands on the floor, both hands on the floor, but the elbows are still inside the knees. And then press your upper arms outward into your knees and squeeze your knees into your upper arms. And then scoop your belly a lot. So it's like you're trying to pull your belly up and round away from your thighs. And as that happens, your tail begins to drop. So you're rounding your back a lot, even around into your armpits, into your ribs. And you're still just in squat, but you're pressing your arms wide into your knees and your knees into your arms. And you're rounding your back. Because this is what I want you to remember, is that this is what crow feels like, right? Good. And then if you'd like to, go ahead, roll forward onto the balls of your feet. Lift your butt a little higher. Good. Maybe taking the feet more parallel. Good. Planting your hands so that your weight starts to move forward onto the hands. Shoulders have to come to the tips of your fingers. So roll forward, forward, forward. And then squeeze those knees towards the upper armpits, upper arms. Good. And then round your back like crazy. Pull up through your sacrum. And then squeeze those heels in towards your butt. And again, you got to look slightly forward towards your fingertips. Otherwise, your head's going to drag you right down to the floor. So squeeze everything in and away from the floor. Awesome. Nice, Emily. Nice, Harriet. You got it. Good. And then slowly come on down, please. Nice job. Come to sit. Bottoms of the feet together, knees wide. Ah, I promise you'll survive it. You will. Take your arms out wide, letter T. Bottoms of the feet together, so legs are in Baddha Konasana, arms out wide. Cross your right arm over top of the left in front of your chest. Wrap the forearms, eagle arms. Good. And feel the breath moving to the back of your heart, front of your chest. Again, we think the effort of this pose, this arm variation, is all in the forearms. But the freedom of it happens in your back. So where is your attention? Is it just on the effort, or is it in the place that's finding freedom? Good. Stretch the arms out wide. Let this go. And then stretch the other way. Take the other arm on top. So left arm over top of right, wrapping the forearms. And same thing. If you're focused so much on pressing the forearms together that you forget to draw the arms into the shoulder socket and feel the wideness of your back, you'll get really sore forearms or really sore shoulders, but you won't get the freedom. You won't feel it as much. So this is our mind. Is your mind focused on those things that keep you trapped? The effort. Or is your mind able to perceive that even with the effort, there are places that are becoming free because you're trying so hard? So Saraswati is that free flowingness. She's the one that says when life is too restrictive, she walks away from it. Right? The only goddess in the Trinity that we talk about in Navaratri who is divorced because she says, I will not and cannot be who you want me to be. Stretch your arms out wide. Good. Stretch the arms all the way up to the sky. Interlace your fingers. Press the heels of the hands, reaching up and out like it's an extension of the crown of your head. So press up through the top of your head. Your arms are an extension of your spine. Good. And then keeping the arms there, lean forward, take your forward fold, long spine. So reach out through your sacrum. Good. Reach out through your ribs, press out through your hands. Keep your butt pressing back and wide. Sit bones back and wide. Good. And then when you've pressed out as long as you can, release the hands to the floor. Relax the head. And find the release of your forward fold. A place where you drop your effort. Saraswati says you turn your mind to what is the necessary truths for your life. And if it means that you don't walk the path that you think that you should or someone else said that you should, swaha. Walk yourself back up, please. Good. Stretch your right leg straight out in front of you, left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Janu Shirshasana. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Little twist to your right over the right leg, then bow forward. Saraswati is also the energy that is education, elevating, studying. Because I would rather know myself completely than to pretend to be something that I'm not, even if it means that I am separated from others that maybe I felt connected to before. If it means that I feel separated from the world as it's moving in its collective patterns, swaha. Again, as yogis, that's what we're asked to tap into, is to see your own shadows and see how you are reflecting maybe those collective bits of the world. And to elevate yourself, to elevate your understanding to the point that maybe it disconnects you from others. But better to know yourself than to pretend to be someone else. Better to be everything you can be than to let yourself be less than you could be. Walk yourself all the way back up, please. Good. Reach for that left foot and knee. So baby cradle that left shin. So right hand is reaching for your right foot. Left hand is reaching for the outer knee. Lift that shin up parallel to your chest. Rock from side to side. Yep. Moving the hip. Yeah. So the whole point here, again, we rock from side to side. If your whole body's rocking, you're not doing a lot, right? Is you want to move the leg in the hip socket. So keep your shoulders as still as you can. Move the hip, move the leg in the hip socket. There you go. Little circles are great. Nice. And then come back to stillness. Good. Take that left foot into your left hand, please. So move that knee nice and wide. So now the left hand is holding the baby toe. Elbow inside the knee, way easier. Move that knee nice and wide and extend that leg out wide to the left. Good. You got it. Yep, straighten the leg. Exactly. Right arm extends out wide to the right. So you're balancing on your sit bones. That's it. Good. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Lift your chest higher. Lean towards the front edge of your pelvis. There you go. Beautiful. One more breath. Good. And then bend that knee back in towards your chest, please. Squeeze it in. Good. And then switch the hand. So bring your right hand to the outside edge of your left foot. Good. Extend that leg straight out in front of you again. So straight out, not again, but twist to your left, please. Take your left hand back behind you, turn your belly, and then stretch that left arm straight back from your shoulder. So balance again, legs straight out in front of you. Good. Leaning forward towards the front edge of your pelvis. That's it. Chest up. Good. More fun than just seated forward folds, I think. Good. And then come back to center, please. Bend that knee in towards your chest. Last variation, last option is to reach with that right hand again to the baby toe edge of your left foot. This time, take your left hand inside that left knee down to the floor. So you're starting to hook that left knee nice and high up over your left shoulder. So lift that thigh nice and high, nice and high. Left hand stays on the floor. So your right hand is holding your foot. Left hand stays on the floor. That's it. You're going to start to straighten that left leg out to the side. Look underneath your right armpit as you do that. So left leg goes out straight. Look underneath your right armpit. Good. Call this sundial pose. Yeah. Chest open, chest open. So you're twisting to the right. That's it. Beautiful, you guys. Good job. And then slowly release. Nice effort. Hug that knee in towards your chest. Good. And then send the left leg straight down to the floor. Good. Bend the right knee, bottom of the foot comes to the inside of your left thigh. Let that knee go wide. Janu Shirshasana. The one pose that you're like, oh, I'm all right with this one. Arms to the sky. Little twist to your left. Bow over the left leg. And there's the way that we do things all the time, habitually. And sometimes we do things in a very bizarre way on purpose. Retrain those grooves in your mind. Find a new way to understand what your hamstrings are, what your back is, what your calves are, what stretch feels like, what balance feels like. Good. And every reaction, every thought that crosses your mind is either shining the mind, right, clearing it, or it's contributing to that strangeness, distortion. So you watch your thoughts that float by. And if you see a particularly crazy one, maybe you attach a little something to it that says, I love you. So that runs through your mind at the same time. Walk yourself all the way back up. Good. Reach for that right shin, so the baby cradle, left hand to your right foot, right hand to the outer knee. Lift the shin up parallel to your chest if you can. And then again, you're moving the leg side to side. So you can rock your whole body, but if you're rocking your shoulders and your hips at the same time, you're not going to do a lot to create openness in that hip. So move the leg more than you are moving your shoulders. It's my suggestion. Maybe even circling the knee, circling the hip a little bit. Good. Nice, you guys. And then come back to stillness, please. Take that right arm inside. So you're reaching with the right hand for the baby toe edge of your right foot. Draw that knee wide out towards your right shoulder and then extend the right leg out to the right. Left arm extends out to the left. Good. Chest up and open, leaning forward towards the front edge of your sit bone. So even that extended leg that's supporting you is getting a hamstring stretch. Nice. Good. Shoulders draw in towards your chest. Nice, Lisa. Good, 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 good. And then go ahead and bend that knee, bring it back in towards your chest. Good. Switch the hand. So bring the left hand to the baby toe edge of your foot. Good. Extend the right leg straight forward from the hip this time, off the floor. Twist to your right. Take the right arm straight back behind you. Good. Watch that that right foot doesn't fall into the midline of your body. Keep it right in line with your right hip. Leaning slightly forward towards the front edge of your sit bones, chest up. Good. Nice, you guys. And then come back to center, please, hugging the knee in. Third variation, again, that left hand is going to reach for the baby toe edge of your foot. Take your right arm inside the knee. Right hand comes down to the floor, just stays there. And you're bringing that right knee up high towards your shoulder. So as you lift the foot, it's like you're trying to stack that right thigh all the way on top of your right upper arm. Yep. Let it go nice and high. Your butt cheek can come off of the floor here. Totally allowed. Good. And you're pressing that upper arm against the thigh. Now start to straighten that right leg out at an angle to the right and twist to your left. So the leg is extending to the right, but you're looking underneath your left armpit. You got it. Yep. So you're totally twisting open. Ribs turn. That's it. Keep going. Nice. Chest open, chest open, chest open. I know. Who came up with this? It wasn't me. Slowly release, come all the way out. Good job, you guys. No matter what happened, good job. And then extend both legs out in front of you, please. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. Good. Plant the hands back behind your hips, fingers pointing towards your heels. Good. Bend the elbows just a little bit. Lift your chest. Reverse plank. So point your toes towards the floor. Lift through your inner thighs. Press into your hands and press the hips up towards the ceiling. If reverse plank is not working for any part of you, bend your knees, plant your feet, and come into reverse table. So same position, just with your knees bent. Good. Carolina is doing reverse table. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there she is. Good. Deep breath in. Lift everything. Good. And then release the hips down to the floor, please. Flex the feet. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Paschimottanasana, one more forward fold. Bow to your feet. Nice. And Saraswati is being that elevated part of our mind. The intuition naturally coincides with our inner guru, the spiritual knowing that is yours, born with it. Walk yourself all the way back up. Good. Bring yourself forward. Come onto your back. Bend your knees. So it says in yogic tradition all the time that when you really have great respect for another being is that you bow to their feet, right? You bring your head, your mind that thinks it knows everything, and you place that at the feet of whatever is greater, more expansive. So can you practice doing that, dropping your mind that thinks it knows? Instead, tapping into the feeling of the breath or the part of the mind that's able to discern what is true and what is not true universally. Right ankle over left thigh, please. Lift your left shin parallel to the floor. Good. Reach through to hold the thigh if you'd like. Squeeze the legs in. Good. Again, breathing deeply into the lower spine. Nice, and folding through those thigh creases. So as you bend that left knee a little more, that's the one that you're holding, really draw that knee in towards your chest and don't focus on how close the right shin is coming in, but think about just the softness at the top of that left thigh. Good. And then slowly release, please. Extend the left leg out in front of you or keep the foot flat. Bring the right knee in towards your chest. Good. Draw the knee a little wider. Reaching for the ankle or the foot, half happy baby. Stacking the heel on top of the knee. Good. And then begin to start to lift your shoulders if you'd like here and start to try and wiggle that shoulder inside your right knee so that you're wrapping maybe the arm around the underside of your calf or wrapping around your calf. Good. So like you're trying to just hook that right knee over your right shoulder. Yeah, so the knee stays nice and wide. Good. Shoulder inside the knee, Joanne. There you go. Yeah, this is like the half sleeping yogi, right? So the idea is that eventually that heel will be able to just hook behind your head. One of these days. Yeah, don't look at me like that. Again, I didn't come up with this. Good. And then slowly release, please, squeezing the knee in towards your chest. It seems like something I would come up with, but I didn't. Good. And then release that right foot down to the floor, please. Bend your left knee, ankle over right thigh. So start with the figure 4, pigeon on your back. Left ankle over right thigh. Lift your right shin parallel to the floor. Reach through to hold the leg, squeeze in. A deep cleaning of the places of your mind, so that you are very aware of the very subtle things that run through you. Because it's often when we're sure that our reaction is the right one, the righteous one, that we ignore what the words actually are that come out of our mouth or that run through our mind. So we say, well, this feeling must be the right one. Universally, it's always Saraswati's question. So to hold yourself to very high standards for your mind, not out of judgment, but out of the knowledge that you can go higher than you think you can. You are more than you think you are. That sometimes to understand that or to really live it, you have to separate yourself from the collective first, from the role that you've played your whole life, maybe. She says you have to disconnect and feel who you are outside of time and space. And then you reflect that, amplify that into the world. And you recreate the world a little bit more true. Good. One more breath, squeezing that right thigh in. So you're really getting soft at the top of that right thigh crease. Good. And then slowly release, hug the left knee in towards your chest. Take that right foot back to the floor or extend the leg to straight, whichever you prefer. Bring the left knee a little wider towards your armpit. Reach inside the knee with the left hand for the foot or the ankle. Stacking the heel on top of the knee. Good. Whether the other leg is straight or bent, you want that right side of your pelvis to stay anchored to the floor, so don't lose that. And then start to play with lifting your shoulders and wrapping that left knee up over your shoulder or wrapping the left arm around your calf. Just again, getting into that place where you are maybe rolling from side to side, or again, circling through that thigh, through that hip nicely. So you got it. Good, Harriet. Good, Joanne. And don't worry if you feel like that concept of hooking the heel behind your head is just a impossibility. The idea is just to feel how much can I create space in my pelvis and my shoulders. One day that could be true. Good. Slowly release, please. Nice. Hug that left knee all the way in towards your chest. Good. Bring the right knee in as well. Full happy baby. Knees wide. Reach for the ankles or the feet. If you want to play with what it feels like here to lift your shoulders and wrap your arms around both calves, bringing the shoulders inside the knees, go for it. Nice, Nancy. And wouldn't it be funny if this just became your goal to figure out this pose? What would happen if you really turned your attention to figuring it out? Good. Slowly release and unwind, hugging the knees in towards the chest. Good. Do a little massage, circling the knees, either together or in opposite directions, whichever appeals to you. Good. And then move the knees the other way. Again, whichever way you have been moving, just move them the opposite direction. Good. And then slowly release, planting the feet. Take one bridge pose, rooting down through the feet, rooting down through the arms. Lift your chest, lift your hips. I find it very important when you've been doing a lot of hip stuff is to get your glutes to be the last thing that activates so it balances some of all of that. Stretch the spine since it just did a lot of twisty stuff in your pelvis. And then slowly release the hips down to the floor, please. Good. If you feel the need for a final spinal twist, go ahead and take that twist, any variation that you'd like. So you can drop both knees to one side. You can straighten one leg and bring the other knee across. You can wrap the legs and come into a twist. Whatever you'd like. If you don't feel the need for a final twist, you want to come straight to Shavasana, you can do that. Good. You are doing your twist, make sure you do both sides. Good. And then as you're ready and you feel complete with your twisting, start to stretch the legs out in front of you, arms alongside you, palms facing up. And come back to that breathing, following the breath with your mind, inhaling through the right nostril, out through the left, and then in through the left and out through the right. So alternate nostril breathing this time. Mentally following the breath in through the right nostril, then out through the left, then in through the left, out through the right. Keep alternating. When your mind gets tired of doing that, just let it go. very gently bring the awareness back to your breath. Let your body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away, back to an upright seated position. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm, or if you like the lotus mudra that I've been using this week, go for it. Thumb and pinky fingers stay together, separate the middle three fingers and the palms, and then just let that rest at the heart. So either one is perfect. So Saraswati is the end of the cycle, the end of the transformation, and it is where we are asked to reach to not only our highest ideals, but also to look very deeply at our shadows, to look at the corners of our mind and the places where we still habitually amplify or interact with or contribute to what we do not wish to see. So it's great when we know what we want and we speak that and we express that and we live that as best as we can. But if we're still contributing in subtle ways, accidental ways to what we don't want, because collectively that's where we are. And Saraswati says, elevate yourself beyond that. Even if it means you separate from the collective, elevate yourself so that all you amplify is what's true universally. And keep doing that. That's the deep courage that comes from the goddess, is that you are willing to be what you are, even if it pulls you away from the world, pulls you away from what you think you should be or what you should have. So Saraswati is that. She says, reach very high. Shine the mirror of your mind so that what you reflect is truth, universal. And that's the yogi's prayer, is that that's what we create the world from every day with our minds. So just notice, do a little cleaning. You still have time. Close the sound of Om, deep breath in. Bringing the palms together and sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week until I see you again. Happy Navaratri.